Welcome to this explainer, where we are peeling back the layers of a truly remarkable and honestly just a really gritty piece of source material. Today, we're jumping right into the immediate, somber aftermath of the Battle of Arundel, and we're going to look at the massive, industrial chain reaction that it sets off. We're stepping completely away from those typical high fantasy tropes of, glowing magic and destiny. Instead, we are digging straight into soot, steel, and a desperate race against time.
Okay, so let's set the stage for this desperate moment. Picture this. You've got two tiny, completely battered survivors standing right in the center of the massive, stone-carved throne room of Hammerdeep, and it is just dead silent. They have literally just escaped an absolute nightmare, carrying nothing but the crushing weight of their fallen friends and a heavy, ancient artifact they barely even understand. It's a terrifying, sobering image, and it really sets the tone for everything that follows.
Section 1. The Survivor's Grim Report.
Now, this right here is the absolute crucial point to keep in mind, the fear of the unknown. The lizardfolk Ord and the raccoon Otis, they don't have the full picture. Their knowledge is strictly limited. They only know for a fact that their fierce companions, the Knollsbane, fell to the overwhelming, brutal might of the Dwargar general Durog. That is the complete extent of their knowledge after the fight. Were their friends captured? Were they killed? Are they chained up in an arena somewhere right now? They have absolutely no idea. And that massive information void creates a terrifying, agonizing, ticking clock for anyone who might still be alive down there in the dark.
Amidst this incredibly traumatic report, Ord slowly withdraws this ancient, heavy object from his satchel, placing it on the war table. You can feel that he is carrying an immense psychological burden here, massive survivor's guilt. He didn't stay and fight to the death alongside his friends, all because of one crushing command. Talinor's final warning, don't let it fall into the wrong hands. Ord was literally forced to retreat to protect this artifact, leaving his friends to an entirely unknown fate.
And that brings us to a powerfully quiet moment in the text. The Dwarven Queen actually descends from her dais. She doesn't address the tactical situation first, she focuses entirely on the traumatized survivor. She kneels down and offers this incredible moment of grace, telling him, "You did not abandon your friends. You obeyed." There is a difference. Man, it's such a vital leadership moment. It's a great reminder of how extending a little grace in times of crisis can lift a heavy psychological burden so a team can actually move forward.
Section 2. Awakening the Mountain.
So the king rises, and with him the entire hall snaps to attention. He places his hand on the artifact and delivers a decisive, history-making declaration. For generations, Hammerdeep has looked inward. Our gates remained closed. Our wars remained our own, no longer. With just those words, he ends centuries of dwarven isolationism. The darkness beneath the mountains has become a threat to everyone, and Hammerdeep, well, they're going to answer.
This scene brilliantly illustrates the gritty industrial scale of this mobilization. The king commands every single forge to be lit. Across the city, bells are just ringing out. We aren't seeing mystical spells being cast here. We are seeing blacksmiths hammering anvils, armorers furiously pounding out dense and heavy plate armor, and crews straining to restring massive wooden ballistae. The air fills with soot and the sharp smell of sulfur. Storehouses throw their heavy wooden doors wide open. The mountain isn't just waking up, it is violently shifting gears into a brutal medieval war economy.
Section 3. The Key of Teleportation. Now, I want to be very, very clear about this next part. The key of teleportation is not some weightless, glowing, magical stone straight out of a fairy tale. It's really not. It is described as a heavy, ancient utilitarian tool covered in dormant gold runes. Think of it more as an engineering marvel of the deep roads. The king immediately sends for actual engineers to inspect it and prep the ancient doorway. Hammerdeep intends to wield this key of teleportation with cold, calculated, mechanical precision.
But of course you need a team to actually take the key to the surface. So the king summons a vanguard the likes of which hasn't been seen in generations. We're talking 6 elite mountain scouts, hardened, gritty veterans of the deep black roads, and they are led by a single seasoned ranger with a silver beard. The king hands this ranger a scroll bound in heavy black wax, stamped right there with Hammerdeep's royal crest. He tells the ranger he is carrying the very future of their kingdom in his hands. It's a high-stakes diplomatic mission forged completely in the dark.
Section 4. The Smallest Ambassador.
Now, you really have to consider the sheer contrast in scale here, because it's kind of amazing.
On one hand, you have Otis, a tiny, mischievous raccoon thief who has just had the suit washed out of his fur, now standing proudly in newly forged dwarven armor, which naturally comes complete with plenty of pockets for stealing. But on the other hand, the king pins a massive silver brooch bearing Hammerdeep's royal crest directly onto that armor. The king tells Otis that wherever he travels, he speaks with the voice of Hammerdeep. Talk about an immense diplomatic weight being placed on a very tiny set of shoulders. But then, we hit the agonizing weight. If we track the timeline here, they have the plan, they have the ambassador, but the key of teleportation? It just remains dark. Day 1 passes in absolute silence. And remember, far below, General Durog has their friends, and every single hour might mean the difference between life and death. Finally, on day 2, those ancient gold runes stir to life, and the heavy portal bridges the gap to Affeldern. The vanguard steps through, riding with absolute, desperate haste for 3 long days, until they finally reach the surface kingdoms on day 5.
Section 5. Rallying the surface.
The response from the surface is just immediate and absolute. There is no red tape here, no slow bureaucracy to wade through. Jeremiah believes the grim tale instantly. Father Eric confirms the terrible stakes. Ravenna immediately sees the grave danger, and King Randor, he wastes 0 time. He raises the banners right then and there. Knights assemble, mages start prepping their combat spells, clerics pack up their triage supplies. And get this, they aren't going to take the long, slow mountain passes. No way. They are going to march their entire host directly through that ancient engineered door.
Section 6. The Final March.
Just a day later, the key of teleportation awakens once again, bridging Affeldern right back to Hammerdeep. And for the first time in literal generations, you have the heavily armored dwarves of Hammerdeep standing shoulder to shoulder with the knights and soldiers of the Crystal Kingdom, all beneath the very same mountain. It's incredible. 2 massive, distinct military forces forged into a single, unyielding alliance with only one destination left on their map, Earendale.
And that leaves us with a pretty haunting question to wrap up our explainer today. We've seen the soot, we've seen the steel, and we've witnessed this unprecedented unity. But remember our crucial point from earlier. Ord and Otis have absolutely no idea if their friends are even still alive. Will this massive, gritty, industrial mobilization march through the deep roads in time to save the fallen heroes of the Nullsbane? Or has General Durog already claimed absolute victory in the dark? It's a chilling thought, and it's exactly what makes this source material so incredibly gripping. Thanks for joining me on this one, and as always, keep questioning what lies in the dark.